Making a change that is 1% better or 1% worse seems insignificant in the moment, but over the span of moments that make up a lifetime, these differences determine who you are and who you could be. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey, co-founder and brand personality of WarriorBabe, where we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome to episode number 7, all about success being in your daily habits, not in your one-off transformations. Guys, what matters the most is how you are showing up right now, how you are showing up in your day-to-day right now. The things that you do day to day, they will repeat, they will compound. They are the path to your results. And once you master these day-to-day strategies, like I talked about in episode number 2, focusing on your systems and not so much on your goals. If you master these day-to-day strategies, and when you master these day-to-day strategies, these systems, these better habits, inevitably you will master your goal. You will master the results that you want to accomplish. So I'm going to just dive right into it. What's so freaking crazy, you guys, is that we convince you guys, you may have done this before, you convince yourselves that massive success, massive change requires this massive action. Like we need, or you need, like it's January 1, you need to nail everything required of you in January 1 or the first week of January to have massive success in X amount of time. With achieving a goal of fat loss, changing your body composition, building muscle, and looking more toned, you put so much pressure on yourself to make this insane change and to do it so fast, right? It's like, example, I vacation in 60 days. Can I achieve this X amount of weight loss by then? You know, it's like this insane pressure on you to make this insane change super fast. Or like if you're working with a coach, yo coach, in what time can I achieve X amount of a body fat drop? Or like, I know you've been there. This next one, it's like, you know, I've coached women when our coaches in the VIP program have coached women that have said this. My son or my daughter is getting married in 2 weeks. Can I lose 20 pounds in this time frame? And like the thing is that so many of you are focused on the end result, these one-off transformations. And yet, like, you're not focused, or you never have mastered the habits needed to achieve these results in a sustainable and a realistic way, right? So like I talked about, so many of you guys focus on like, I want to achieve this X goal in this X amount of time and have this amazing transformation. But it's like, what actually got you there? That's how you're going to be able to master it and be in a sustainable way and maintain the results, right? How did you get to that transformation? How did you get to the end result? How did you get to that goal? That's why so many people yo-yo. They focus on the end result, they get there, and then all of a sudden they fall back into their old ways. They never master the habits that were needed to achieve those results in a sustainable and realistic way. So my goal within this podcast today is to break beliefs around your perspective of results and to help you better focus on your day-to-day habits. So something key to note, you guys, whether you can note it mentally or if you have a notepad and you're listening to this, you can write it down. Our habits are the compound interest of our self-improvement. So the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. And the effects of these habits can be good and or bad. So like they can be good habits or they could be bad habits, but either way, they multiply as you repeat them. And the good or the bad repetition of these habits, they seem to make little difference on any given day, yet the impact that they deliver over the months and years can be absolutely enormous. So like when you look to 2 to 5 or even 10 years later is only when you can see the value of good habits and the cost of bad ones, right? So for example, for bad ones, if you look back over the last year or 5 years or 10 years, you can think of like all of the bad habits that got you to where you are today if you have not yet achieved your results or the goals that you want to accomplish, right? Like I said in episode number 2, your body is not the problem. The systems that got you to that body are the problem and what need to be changed, right? So like, but like this concept of looking out those 2 to 5 or even 10 years, and the impact that your habits deliver, good or bad, is so hard for so many people to grasp. Like, I just painted that picture for you there. It's like you can see all of the things that maybe you've done the last 10 years have gotten you to where you are, but you're not yet still where you want to be. And so it's a cost of all these bad ones. Even so much, even to thinking about the good ones. It's like in a 2-week span, you can make all of these changes in a 2-week span that may support your future goals, but like, will you follow through on those 2 weeks? And will you follow through on the things that got you results to where you want to be? Right? So people dismiss small changes that you do day to day because they don't seem to matter so much in the moment. So like, for example, if you go to the gym 3 days in a row, like you're still out of shape. If you track macros for 2 weeks, you still may look the same. If you track macros for 1 month, you still may look the same, right? 3 days, 2 weeks, 1 month, you guys, though, is such a small time frame in relation to the truth of how long it will take you to achieve your goal, and most importantly, achieve it in a sustainable way. You guys know that I'm big on like speaking to the fact that like changing your body composition, if you think of that phrase, it's a lot to unpack. It's not going to happen in like the end result's not going to happen in 3 months. The end result may not even happen in 6 months. The end result is going to take you probably years to achieve, right? So 3 days and people like give up. It's like they try and make these small little things, these small little changes in a short amount of time, but they're not getting to where they want to be. So they're like, fuck it, right? It's not working after 1 to 2 weeks. Fuck it. It's not working after 1 to 2 months. Fuck it. And like, what I'm trying to express here and explain, articulate, is like that very small shift in that direction of fuck it, letting all of the bad habits sink back in, can lead to a very meaningful change in your destination. Okay, so something very important to note here is that if you let all of these old habits and bad habits sink back in, a delayed or totally elongated change in the time that you reach your end results can happen, right? So like, you're one of those instant gratification goers, or like you want to see results in such a short amount of time, and you're like, oh my God, I need to make all this massive change, and I need to have massive success, and like, I have somewhere that I want to be on a vacation in 2 months, and I need to lose 20 pounds in that 2 months, or I need to lose 50 pounds in that 2 months. Yet you're 2 weeks in, you're not seeing the change that you want to, and you're like, screw it, and you let all these old habits sink back in. Well, are you going to be where you want to be in that 2 month time frame? No. You're starting to shift the time it's going to take you to that destination. So a lot of what I'm sharing with you here right now is from the book Atomic Habits, and I would highly recommend that you order it on Amazon. This is where a lot of what I'm speaking to is coming from. And like, I've had a lot of our WarriorBabes, a lot of my clients, a lot of our coaches' clients read this book because it can dramatically help you. So this quote I love, it says, making a change that is 1% better or 1% worse seems insignificant in the moment, but over the span of moments that make up a lifetime, these differences determine who you are and who you could be. Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also, it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get back to the show. So if you overindulge one time, but yet let that turn into 2 weeks or 4 months, that will determine who you are and what your results could be in 6 to 12 months. But if you stay on track, being consistent majority of the time, that will determine who you are and what your results could be in that same time frame of 6 to 12 months, right? If you overindulge, it's like that small, minute thing it's not really impacted or felt in the moment. It's like, you go off track for 1 whole week, or you indulge one time in a day, and that doesn't seem like insignificant. It seems insignificant in the moment, but like if you turn that into 2 weeks or 4 months, that's going to determine who you are and where your results will be in that 6 to 12 month time frame. But like, let's say, you overindulge one time and you're like, no, I need to get back on track the next day, and you're consistent majority of the time, and you follow through, that's going to determine where you are, who you are, and what your results could be in that same time frame of 6 to 12 months. So like, your success is in the product of your daily habits. Your success is how good you're operating your systems, not in these one-off transformations. So many people, like I said in episode number 2, are attached to the goal and they're wanting to just achieve the goal. They want to lose 20 pounds in 2 months, right? But like, how did you get there? Your success is in those habits. Your success is in those moments. And then if you can understand and become aware of how you became successful to that goal, and you just do more of that, that's going to help you to maintain and do all of the goals that you want to accomplish in a sustainable, realistic way. Okay? So right now, it doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. Like, cool, great. You hit your workouts plan this week. Or like, oh, well, you messed up on your macros today. But what matters is if your habits are putting you on the path of success. So like, cool, you hit all your workouts this week. You're going to do it next week, right? You're going to do it the following week after that. You're going to do it for the next 2 months, right? That's the habit that will put you on the path of success. Oh, well, you messed up on your macros today. Oh, well, get back on it tomorrow. Don't beat yourself up. That's a habit that's going to put you on the path of success. And you know what, guys, like this is something that could be really transformational for you, is the questions you ask yourself. And you have to ask yourself good questions that will get you good answers, that will help you if you're struggling, right? So for example, it's like when I coach women, or like our coaches coach women, we will ask them, hey, are you consistently hitting your macros this week? Or like, did you at least hit your macros 6 out of 7 days of this week? And like, they say yes. And I'm like, Mary, girl, like, why are you lying to me? You ain't lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Like, no, I will go back into their MyFitnessPal. I will see that they didn't hit their macros for a majority of the week. They're like 500 calories under, like 50 carbs under or over, or they didn't hit their protein on majority of the days of the week. And it's like, how is this going to help you? Right? Don't lie to yourself, you guys. You got to ask yourself these questions that may then help you realize and become aware of like, oh crap, you know what? I didn't hit my macros. I'm going to do better. I didn't get my workouts all done this month. I'm going to do better, because those habits are what's going to put you on the path to success. Right? So even if you mess up with your macros one day, are you waking up and trying better the next day? You guys should be far more concerned with your current path than you are of your results. And asking yourself, like, too, it's like if you're working with a coach, that relationship is a two-way street. So like if you're lying and saying that you did hit your macros, yet you didn't, guess what? You're going to still be stuck in the same position that you are in a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, or 4 months from now, because you're saying, oh, I did hit my macros, but I didn't hit my macros. And so your coach is going to be like, oh, then changing all of these things is going to throw you off track and maybe not get you to where you want to be. Right? So like, you got to be far more concerned. Hey, am I being honest with where I am with my journey? Am I following my macros? Am I getting my workouts in? And then if you are honest, with the truth will set you free. You tell your coach that your coach is going to help you get unstuck, get out of your own way, X, Y, and Z. So it's a two-way relationship, but you should be far more concerned with your path than you are of your results. So like, are the things that you're doing, are the habits you're doing, are they putting you on success? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you hitting your macros? Are you doing your workouts? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking your water, right? Are they putting you on the path to the results you want to accomplish? Okay. Right. If you want to achieve fat loss and tone up, but you aren't giving your macros a fair shot, then you're on a bad path. If you want to achieve fat loss and tone up and you're consistently showing up daily, and then you're on the path towards your goals. And guys, even if you are moving slower than you'd like, right? Like I told you guys in episode number 1, like this is a no bullshit, no nonsense. Like I'm bringing you guys the truth podcast, even if this shit doesn't sound sexy, right? Like even if you're moving slower than you were like, if you are consistently showing up majority of the time, you are on the path towards your goals. This is where a lot of people get tripped up, right? They want to see results in like 2 to 3 weeks and they don't, because they're moving too slow, so they stop. You got to understand that changing your body composition, like I said previously, is a lot to unpack. So like you may be moving slower than you'd like, but like you're going to get to where you want to be if you're consistently showing up in 6 to 8 to 12 months. I'm going to explain that in a second. But understand this, you get what you repeat. So the positive habits that you do today and tomorrow will compound on each other just as much as the negative ones will. And in 6 to 12 months, you can understand what your results will be like depending on how positive or negative your habits are towards those supporting goals that you want to accomplish. So showing up consistently will guarantee you results in 6 months. Showing up sporadically will guarantee you results in double that time, right? Is this all making sense? Like, I truly hope this is helping you guys. I truly hope like some light bulbs are going off and you're like, oh my gosh, aha moments, like, and truly grasping the fact that like your journey is not going to be like, you could have some success in 2 weeks, but like, it's not going to be the end goal, right? Like, you got to understand that this takes time, and the way to do it sustainably and realistically and maintain it, it's like, what are you doing today, tomorrow, and the next day that will compound over time and get you to where, is it supporting you or is it not supporting you? Is it costing you with bad habits, or are you moving forward with good ones? So I want to share an analogy from the book Atomic Habits I just spoke about. This is how progress works. Imagine that you have an ice cube sitting on the table in front of you. The room is cold and you can see your breath. Okay, it's currently 25 degrees in that room. And then ever so slightly, the room begins to heat up. 26 degrees, 27 degrees, 28 degrees. That cube, though, is still on the table in front of you. Nothing is happening. 29 degrees, 30 degrees, 31 degrees. Still nothing, though, is happening to that ice cube. Then the room gets to 32 degrees and the ice cube begins to melt. A 1 degree shift, seemingly no different than the temperature changes before it, just unlocked a huge change. And guys, the same thing happens with your bodies. Okay, so you're doing all of this work for 2 months, 3 months, and like maybe you're not where you want to be, or you're not seeing the like results. It's like, maybe it's like true, like I said, as fast as you want to, but then all of a sudden, bam, on the 4th month, you're like unlocking this new level of performance. You're unleashing a major change. You're seeing all of these new changes happening within your body, new detail, new definition, more muscle, right? Look, along all of your journeys, there's always a valley of disappointment that you expect to make progress, right? Weight loss is in a linear fashion, and it's frustrating how minimal changes can seem during the first days, weeks, and even months, right? How many of you guys have felt that before? Sometimes you just aren't getting anywhere. You aren't making any progress. This is literally the hallmark of any compounding process. The most powerful results are delayed. You need to get obsessed with delayed gratification, as I've talked about before, and get rid of instant, put your body into a microwave and in 30 seconds out pops a tone body gratification. This is why it's so hard to build habits that last. People make a few small changes, fail to see a tangible result, and so they decide to stop, right? They go to the gym a couple times, or maybe, we're at the end of January here. You've gone a couple weeks of doing these small changes, but you're not seeing the results that you want to. And so you decide to stop. Don't decide to stop. This is what this podcast, I hope, helps you do. Do not decide to stop. Keep going, keep showing up consistently, because if you keep doing the work for the next 3 months, hey, guess what? You're that ice cube sitting on the table in front of you. The room went from 25 to 31, bam, 3 months, 0 to 3 months, bam, 4th month, 32 degrees. You've unlocked this change. People make a few small changes, they fail to see tangible results, and they decide to stop, right? You think that I've been tracking my macros for 4 weeks, so why am I not seeing any changes in my body? Once this thinking takes over, it is so easy to let good habits fall apart. And this is what's going to cause a drastic change in your destination. But in order to make a sustainable, meaningful difference, you have to persist with your habits until you break through. You have to be like, this is where in episode number 4, I talk about who are you becoming? You have to keep persisting, even though you're not getting or seeing the things that you want to see or the changes that you want to have. Think about the person who's already achieved the goal. Go to that person. What is she doing? What are the actions she's doing? How is she talking to herself? How is she showing up every single day? And just keep showing up like her, right? That's what I talk about in episode number 4, if you haven't listened to it yet. So like, you have to just keep plugging away. You have to keep just showing up for yourself, persist with these good habits, and know that like you will reap your rewards. You will have a breakthrough. And like complaining of not achieving results despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you've heated it from 25 to 31 degrees. So like you're doing all of this work, right? But like complaining from not achieving results, even though you're doing all this work, I know you're doing all this work, but it's like complaining, when you've done 3 months of it and that's it. It's like, keep going. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th month, all of these things, everything's going to compound over time. Look, understand this. The work that you're putting in, guys, it's not wasted. It's not, nor ever was wasted. These 3 months, if you're, into the new year, if you're not seeing what the results you want to, it's not wasted. It's just being stored. And all of the actions, all of the changes happen the 4th, 5th, 6th, at 32 degrees, right? So like, don't give up. Get obsessed with delayed gratification. Know that even though the things that you're doing today, tomorrow, they may seem insignificant in the moment, but man, can they make a drastic difference in the months to come, in the years to come. So to wrap up this podcast today, guys, our habits are the compound interest of our self-improvement. Think back 1 year and see the habits have gotten you here today. Our success in the products of our daily habits, not in these one-off transformations. Understand that what you do today, tomorrow, the next day, the systems you have in place, if they are supporting you to where you want to go, you will get there. It's inevitable. You will reap what you want. You will reap the work that you're putting in. But like, you got to detach away from the one-off transformations and these goals and just focus on getting better at these supporting daily habits, these systems. Be far more concerned with your path than you are of the results. And you get what you repeat, good or bad. Everything compounds, good or bad. So if like you're casting out these votes I talked about in episode number 4 for your old self, you will get your old self. You will get where you are now with the body that you may be stuck in, right? But if you cast better results, good votes, and do those supporting habits, you will get what you repeat. Everything compounds, good or bad. And then breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions which build up to the potential to unleash major change. So like put in the work, keep putting in the work. Don't expect something to change in 2 weeks time span, especially if like you got overweight because due to like 10 years of bad habits. That shit's not going to happen in a 2 week time span. It's not going to happen in a 2 month time span. Okay. So breakthrough moments are often the result. You have to do all of these good supporting actions, these good supporting habits, and they will build up to unleash major change. Maybe it's going to be 5 months for you, 6 months for you, 8 months for you, whatever it is. Get obsessed with delayed gratification. And the work that you're putting in, guys, the hard work that you're doing, I know that you're doing, it's not being wasted. Don't think that like after 3 months, oh my God, I'm not seeing the results that I want. All of the things that I'm doing these last 3 months is just waste. That's not true. It's just being stored, and you're about to unlock some major changes in the future months to come as long as you keep showing up for yourself and you keep being consistent. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. It's one of my favorite. And like side note, guys, I recorded this podcast right before this one and it didn't record. And I was so upset, but I was like, no, I need to get this out there. They need to hear this. I'm not going to get mad at myself. I'm going to re-record it, and it's going to be recorded this time. So please, guys, it would mean so much to me because, that sucked having to do that, but I wanted you guys to have this podcast. It would mean so much to me if you guys did share this, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram on your story or whatever, so that I can see that you guys listened to it and you found value in it. It would mean the world to me. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next podcast. Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.